What is going on, baseball fans? Jeremy Laracuente here for the Baseball Banter Broadcast. And today we're going to be looking and examining the Yankees' first game in the divisional round of the 2022 postseason. So we're going to be looking at three big takeaways that I had from last night's game. So let's jump right into number one. And the first takeaway obviously had to start with the Yankees opening pitcher, their starter, their ace, Gerrit Cole. When you look at the performance that Cole had last night, without question, this is why he was brought in. Gerrit was an absolute ace, an absolute beast. So looking at his line score last night, this is one of the most dominant performances that we've seen from him in the postseason. The most dominant performance we've seen from him as a Yankee. So 6 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. Obviously did give up the home run to Steven Kwan. This is going to be something that we have to continue to watch to see how it goes throughout the course of this postseason with Gerrit and the home run ball. It's been a problem all season long. But that's the thing with Gerrit. This is, and Anthony Rizzo said it to Meredith Marakovitz after the game, Cole's a bulldog on the mound. And he's a bully, and he is going to go right after guys. And the fact is that Cleveland is one of the worst home run hitting teams in Major League Baseball in 2022. And so Cole's going to challenge these guys. Cole is going to be in the strike zone, in and around the strike zone. And when he gets to a point where, he's in let's say a hitter's count, he is going to challenge them with his fastball, which is going to leave him more susceptible to the home run ball. I think that, as the year has gone on, as the year has progressed, we've seen that Gerrit has that aggressive mentality. He does get frustrated on the mound, and the same way we get frustrated at home. And I think that, the home run ball that he gave up to Steven Kwan could have been the unraveling, but it didn't. He bared down and he went even harder after that. So I think that, this was the Gerrit Cole that we've been waiting to see in terms of postseason. Yes, last season in Fenway was not a good look, but here we go. This is where what we paid him $324 million to do. This is what was done. And in my opinion, this was a very good start for the New York Yankees. They needed this. And that leads me into my second takeaway. And defense and the bullpen are going to be extremely important. Obviously, it's been stated for eons, the defense wins championships. And part of that defense is the bullpen. Gerrit Cole had a very good outing, went 6 1/3. I believe he could have gotten through the 7th, but Booney went to the bullpen. Everything turned out well with Loaizaga, Wandy Peralta, and Clay Holmes. But it leaves questions in this Yankee bullpen. That was the biggest question going into this postseason, and that hasn't really been a question for the Yankees over the last several seasons. So this is going to be a different feel, a different type of postseason. And this might sound like a little bit of a hot take here, but this reminds me of the 2009 World Series team. And I'm going to tell you why when it comes to our starters and our bullpen. The 2009 World Series winning New York Yankees had 3 starters: CC Sabathia, AJ Burnett, and Andy Pettitte. This year, the Yankees have Gerrit Cole, Nestor Cortez, and Luis Severino. And when it comes to the bullpen, we'll never match that bullpen because it had Mo. And Mariano Rivera is the greatest relief pitcher that we've ever seen. The term relief ace is Mo to the T. And outside of Mo, in that 2009 World Series, we had some question marks. But we had some guys that stepped up in big situations. Damaso Marte was huge against lefties. And to me, I see Wandy Peralta being that same guy. And the beauty about Wandy compared to Damaso Marte from that 2009 team is that Wandy can get right-handers out too. And with the 3-batter minimum, that's going to be important. I think that if we can get Clay Holmes to being similar to what he was in the first season, now I'm not saying he's got to be, as elite as he was then, although that would be tremendous. If we can get him to just resemble that, that's going to be one less thing that the Yankees have to worry about at the end of the game. Loaizaga is absolutely a beast. I love the way the ball jumps out of his hand. And I think that there's going to be a lot that the Yankees rely on when it comes to Loaizaga. The loss of Scott Efros is huge, in my opinion, because this was a guy that Booney and Matt Blake really trusted. This was a guy who could get lefties and righties out. So that to me is going to be a big loss. I think that with Lou Trevino, it's a guy we can trust. And outside of probably, those four or some crazy situation, I believe that's who the Yankees are going to go with. I don't think that Jameson Taillon should really be used as a reliever. If you watch the Seattle Mariners Houston Astros game, starters coming in relief, especially with bases, with some traffic on the bases, it's not a good look. It doesn't work out well, as Yordan Alvarez proved with a monster blast. So there's going to be some, serious questions with how this bullpen is going to shake out. But in terms of what the Yankee starters are going to be, I think that they can ride with their top 3 guys the same way we did back in 2009. When it comes to the defense, we saw the kind of, gift and curse that we've been blessed with this season. The Yankees defense is very much improved over the 2021 team. There's no doubt about it. But there are going to be some moments where we see some boneheaded plays from IKF, from Josh Donaldson, and we're going to question, what are you doing? But the thing is that overall the defense is much improved. Harrison Bader is an absolute monster in center field. I love the way that he plays defense. He plays with his whole heart, his whole passion, every single play. Obviously, Aaron Judge is an elite Gold Glove caliber right fielder. I think Oswaldo Cabrera is going to be one of the most entertaining and beloved Yankees in a very, very long time. You can literally put him anywhere and he has absolute success and impact on the game. And this is a homegrown superstar. And the Yankees need to start taking the page out of the Braves book and lock him up long-term right now. Him and Peraza. I don't know why Peraza wasn't on this roster, but it's another story for another time. And in discussing some of the lapses that we saw in mental judgment last night between IKF and Josh Donaldson, that leads me into my third and final takeaway. I believe that this team is capable of winning the World Series. That being said, I believe the Yankees need a new shortstop and third baseman in 2023. Now, IKF was brought here to be a defensive first shortstop for the New York Yankees. That's what Brian Cashman wanted him for. That's what he has sought after for the longest time, was bringing in IKF to play shortstop for the New York Yankees. That's not worked out well. No matter what people try to say about his ability at shortstop, and this is not a knock on IKF. I think that he definitely tries to do his absolute best every single night. But I think that, one, whether it be he's trying to put too much pressure on himself or trying to live up to the dream of playing for his favorite team, I don't know what it is that is hindering him, but there's just too many times where he takes his eye off the ball and makes boneheaded routine plays extremely difficult. And when we look back, and obviously I'm going to keep harping back to the 2009 team because that was the last time we won the World Series. been a long time. But you never saw plays really like that from Derek. Was Derek getting to every ball that IKF gets to? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. But Derek knew where to be. And the ball hit to him, he was going to make the play. For the most part. With IKF, whenever the ball is hit to him, you don't know if he's going to make that play. Or if he's going to make that play much more difficult than it needs to be. When it comes to Donaldson, defensively, he's been really amazing. He has an absolute cannon for an arm, as we saw on that backhanded play down the line. But there's too many boneheaded plays that he makes. And I think for the Yankees to run off the dynasty that we want them to have, we need a new shortstop and third baseman. Now, that being said, I do believe that this team is capable of winning the World Series as we are presently constructed. I think that we're going to have to really rely on our big bats in the lineup. I think that we're going to have to rely on our three-headed monster atop of the rotation. And I think we're going to have length out of our starters. If we don't get, 6, 7, 8 innings out of our starters, we're going to really be showing the underbelly of our bullpen and really call ourselves into question when it comes to, the teams that we're potentially going to have to go through in order to win the World Series. It's going to take the Yankees 11 wins to win the World Series here in 2022. They've already got number 1 down, 10 more to go. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know your thoughts, your feelings on this, Yankee fans, down in the comments, or find me over on Twitter at banter_baseball to keep the conversation rolling. Let me know your thoughts, your feelings on the Yankees. What are you expecting out of this team? What are you seeing from this team? What are your takeaways from Game 1 of the American League Division Series taking place in the Bronx, New York? Let me know that down in the comments, or like I said, find me over on Twitter and we can keep the conversation rolling. As always, keep it locked into our entire GLMG family with Sibs, the Granny Geek Show, and of course here on the Baseball Banter Broadcast by hitting that subscribe button on all 3 channels. For sticking around to this point, head over to baseballbanterbroadcast.com. Use the promo code BANTER to save 5% off your order. Keep it locked in all season long as we continue to look at the latest news, notes, and my personal thoughts, theories, and opinions on the game of Major League Baseball. Peace.